Hello, Atma Namaste friends. This is Soul Crafting with Tanushree, the Nugget series. I'm Tanushree Nair, your energy mastery and mindset specialist. And today we are going to have a small discussion with a wonderful jewelry designer, Aarthi Rajagopalan. She's here in the studio. And let me tell a little bit about Aarthi. Aarthi is an NIFT graduate with an corporate and export apparel industry experience of about 7 to 8 years. In 2018, she decided to start her own venture in the jewelry designing line by the name House of Kalart. She specializes in jewelry designing and styling. Her influence for her jewelry design comes from art deco and geometry. She loves handcrafting. And today we have Aarthi here in the studio where we'll be discussing small tips and techniques on how she went from her job to starting her own venture, how she jumped into entrepreneurship, and how has her journey been. Hi, Aarthi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tanushree. Thank you for having me here.
We are so glad that you could make time out from your busy schedule and join me for the session. It was a short notice, though.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Awesome. So, Aarthi, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you start? Where did you start in your career? Uh, uh, like from you mentioned that you were in corporate, you were in exports, you were in the apparel industry. And how did you start from there? And how did you land up into entrepreneurship?
Well, it's been a long journey, but to summarize it, when I was working, I was in a very comfortable, cushy corporate job. I was climbing up the ladder, and I had become a buyer at that point of time, and um, one day when I was talking with my boss, he was saying that his wife was expecting and he wanted her job was very stressful, so he wanted her to quit her job and probably try something on her own, because he always wanted to do something on his own, but then he had to succumb to family, uh, not pressure, but so family situation, and since he had to support them, he could not take that risk. So when he said that, that kind of, he said that he wished he had tried. So that line kind of stuck in my head, and so I know I pondered over it for about 2 weeks, and then I called my dad one day and I told him that, listen, I want to try something on my own. My dad totally freaked because, you know, I was in a stable job, I was climbing up the ladder, and he was like, you have leadership skills, you can do well in a corporate. uh, he said he tried talking me out, but then I was persistent. Then he said, you know, he's like, I wish you would continue in your corporate job, but I want you to experience your own journey. So he said, I'm going to support you how I can. And I went back to my boss and I told him that, I don't want to get to my middle age and then, say that, I wish I had tried and I don't want to repeat this. So I want to try now. I have age at hand. So I want to try now. If it doesn't work out, I can always come back and join.
I
So
so agree with that part where you said, I don't want to get into that spot and some age and think I could have done it earlier.
earlier, yeah. So then I just quit my job and I came back and I started exploring different. I started exploring what I could do. Of course, I was in the apparel industry, but uh, I was always interested in jewelry, and I've always been handcrafting since childhood. So I was always keen on jewelry. I mean, I was always keen on handcrafting and art forms. So when I quit my job, I knew that I wanted to do something that involved both art forms and jewelry. I just didn't know how to go about it. So I contemplated with um, quirky home products, because 10 years back that was not even a, it was not such a big thing. Right now there are so many brands offering quirky handmade products, but at that point of time it was not so big. So
True.
I was contemplating trying different art, bringing different art forms on uh, quirky home decors. Like, I randomly met my aunt's watchman who used to be a stained glass painter, and since nobody was using stained glass windows anymore, he had to shut shop. So then I worked with him, and I tried to bring in different. We did some prototypes of uh, stained glass lamps, clocks, serving trays. Then I also worked with a few women, underprivileged women who wanted to upscale themselves for extra income. So we tried out certain handicraft products that could be given for gifting. So while doing all that, at that point of time, I had a completely different business plan. But then I was also trying to explore what business plan. I was trying to understand what a business is, what a business plan is, and stuff like that. But that jewelry kind of stuck in my head, and I was not feeling satisfied when I was doing this. So then I have a good eye for different designs. So then I started sourcing jewelry materials out of different designs, and I started self teaching myself how to beat them or how to finish them. And I started putting a collection together and wanted to explore the jewelry market and see how the industry, how does the market respond to it. So I put out a collection, and I started putting myself out there to trying out exhibitions to see how the market reacts. I got a very good response, but then that whole thing of bringing metal art art forms on metal jewelry, that Kira was there in my head. So I know I wanted to try that. So then I stopped doing the beaded stuffs, and I went in, enrolled myself for goldsmithing course, and I learned how to make metal jewelry. So, and then after that, I tried working with manufacturers. Now that I knew how to, how the technical process is, then got easier for me to explain my designs to manufacturers, and we started work. And I also wanted to do limited quantities to keep that exclusivity. So I tried prototypes with many manufacturers, and finally found someone who was willing to do limited quantities and also experiment with new designs. So yeah, well, it was a good 8 years before I could get to House of Kalart, launch House of Kalart.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And you also mentioned that the journey is not easy. We feel that getting out of a job and getting to do or start our own businesses will give us the freedom of our time, or freedom to do the things the way we want. But honestly, I don't think entrepreneurship is as fancy as it sounds otherwise, because there is so much of reskilling, relearning that one has to do. One, starting with the mindset, and second, with the domain expertise. So, I think in both ways, like you mentioned, you took 8 years for you to get ready before you could even launch a brand or a venture.
Absolutely, it is a long journey, and it's not easy. Not that a 9 to 5 job is also easy,
No, it's
because
not.
you have to answer to uh, so many people. There are time constraints, there are deadlines, so nothing is easy. At the
Nothing
end of
is
the day,
easy.
it's like you said, it's our mindset. If you think that you can do it, you can do it.
You can do
So
it.
so either it's a 9 to 5 job or entrepreneur journey. it is not easy. It is tough, but then nothing is easy in life.
True.
And at
Absolutely.
the end of the day, absolutely, it is only our mindset. If we think we can do it, then it gets easy. We can do it. We balance it out when we want to do it, and when we are persistent and stubborn, then we can do it.
True. I think the only difference there is, I feel, is if you're passionate about the work that you're doing, be it a job or a business, if you're passionate, you find your way out. I mean, you can navigate through anything at that point. But yes, if it is getting on to you, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, you feel that you don't have the freedom or basically an independence to work out things or to put your ideas forth, if you're not finding that space, yes, then somebody can look towards entrepreneurship. But definitely, whether it is a job, whether it's entrepreneurship, none of them are easy.
True. Like like I said, just because I took up entrepreneurship, that doesn't mean you can't go back to working, or you have to prove yourself. It is what you want.
Yep, absolutely.
I Because when I quit, I said that I'm going to try, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll come back. But then I enjoyed my journey so much, and my journey has shifted from quirky products to beaded jewelry to now a premium line. So you keep reinventing yourself, and just because I've found my domain right now, it doesn't mean that I will not evolve. Things might change in future. I might introduce more lines, more categories, or my way of working might change. So style of working might change. So these, because now I'm interacting with and the business is not about the business itself. It's about people. It's about you and your customers, your interactions, what they want, their stories, your story. It's an amalgamation of all that. So so obviously you shouldn't make it all about yourself or all about your idea. It's how you It shouldn't be like, I had this idea, I want to stick to it, I have to prove myself. If you feel that it is not working, it's absolutely okay to say that it didn't work, I want to go back to working, or I'm going to try some other products. It is absolutely okay to do that.
True. Absolutely. I so agree with what you said. And this is where I talk about, the energy management part is um, we have masculine, feminine energies within us. And there are times when we have to work from our masculine energy power, that is of organizational structure, priorities, perfection. But we also need to bring that feminine energy qualities of receptivity, of flexibility, of being in flow. I think you are in that space now where you are enjoying those feminine energies of being in flow, enjoying the work that you do. Your heart flows into those designs. It's almost
Yes.
like whatever is there in your mind, you can see it happening right in front of you, on in your hand. You can just touch it and feel it. That is a journey, I think, is so soul satisfying, and I resonate with you so much because personally I am also a handcrafter. I love handcrafting. The reason why I also started denim upcycling venture was was to bring out that part of me. And it was unknowing at that time, but just life has its own design for you, and you start walking that path and you kind of unravel that design for you. And I'm so glad that Aarthi, you heeded to what your instinct said, what your intuition said, what your heart said, and did not apply so much logic that you paralyzed that thought. I'm so glad you took that action. You went ahead, you started House of Kalart. Friends, she has a wonderful and a beautiful range of jewelry which you should not miss. I'm putting up the links to Aarti's brand House of Kalart in the description below. Please do pay a visit. And I'm so glad, Aarti, you could join us for today's short nugget session. Is there a message that you'd like to send across to all our viewers and listeners?
Like I've said during the call, it's all about mindset. So if you decide you want to do it, you can do it. Don't restrict yourself and say that, if you have responsibilities and you have to be in a job, it's okay. Take an hour or two out in a week and try what you want to do. Once apply, I mean, don't say that, I can't do it. Just uh, tell your family that I need 2 hours for myself. Try out, you know, what you want to do it on the side. And if that is once you do apply it, sometimes it's all fancy in our head, and then when you actually apply it, it may not be so fancy. So, apply it and see. If you think that it's something that you really enjoy, then do it parallelly to your job. And once this gets a little stronger, your venture gets a little stronger, then you can take that jump from your job to your venture. So, try out, don't restrict yourself so much. And yeah, it's all about mindset. Don't be strict, but most important, believe in yourself. Whatever you do, believe in yourself, and nothing is impossible after that.
Awesome.
If
Thanks
you
for that.
don't believe in yourself, no one else will believe in you. So that
Yes,
is very, very
I'm
important.
so glad you said that. Believing in yourself is the biggest gift that you can give to yourself. Listen to yourself. You have everything that it takes to, go ahead and explore. Dear viewers and listeners, this is the message what Aarthi wanted to give, and I so resonate with you, Aarthi. Uh, first take small baby steps. Figure out what is the exact point that you want to, uh, highlight. Where do you want to position yourself? Try working it out. Put some action in that. Experiment it, and then go all out on that. Thanks.
Yeah, and I want to add to this. Sorry, I want to add to this because the thing is, never compare yourself with other entrepreneurs or other peers in your business, because you can never compare your starting with their mid journey or their accomplished journey. There's nothing called, if you think that you've accomplished, then you've stopped learning. So every day we learn and we grow, even in our businesses. So never compare yourself, because who has achieved something today have also gone through this path. So don't look for quick results. It does take time. So invest your time in it and let your business take its own journey. Believe in yourself and give it the time it needs, nurture it. So,
I'm so glad you said this. I'm so glad. Yes, everything needs to be nurtured, whether it's your job, whether it's your profile, whether it's your brand, whether it's your business. Whatever said and done, whatever you do it all out. Okay, viewers and listeners. So we come to an end to today's segment. I'm so glad Aarthi could join us and you all could join to watch this episode. Do leave your comments and what more would you like to see in the Soul Crafting with Tanushree Nugget series. And Aarthi, I'll be putting up your links for your store and the work that Aarthi does. Please go and have a look at what Aarthi does. She does exquisite stuff and you'll really feel pampered when you wear her jewelry. So today we come to the end of today's session. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay inspired. You're all loved. Peace, love, and light. Tanushree signing off.